Hi there, me, Egil Thorsson, and
Bragi, the infamous Magnarsson.
We will be going through comments, answering them for you, and as I say, leave us a few comments as well. We do. This is us fulfilling our word that we get back to you when we can. So let's get the ball rolling.
Yes, can't get a connection. Wait a minute. I'll just keep talking.
All right.
So how are you, Egil? There we go.
I'm Tickety Boo, and the first one is from.
How are you, folks? Let us know in a comment. And please, before you watch this, go and grab a nice hot or cold drink and sit down and enjoy reading comments. Okay. So. The first comment on the video, why did the Vikings convert to Christianity?
And who's that from?
This is from Eirik.
Hi,
absolutely brilliant video, brothers. Now the mind is ticking of all the gears over the subject.
You see, this is one of the things people say, they converted. They may have paid lip service to it, but did they really convert? The main reason was economic. Pope said, you don't trade with pagans. So, as I said in the video, you hid the hammer and out came the crosses.
Indeed.
And as far as they were concerned, you got many, many gods, bit of water, Robert your father's brother.
Oh yeah.
They would also have Islamic names when they went off to Constantinople.
We had a comment on Twitter from somebody saying that it is a misconception that all the Vikings converted.
It's just a term. I mean, what it means is the king or the boss converted. And even so, we know that King Redwald married a Christian.
Supposedly.
And converted, as we know from the spoons, to Saulus and Paulus. But he had an altar to Thor, which does lend itself to suggest that you've said it was a political thing. I'm not saying all the conversions were phony, but, well, let's put it this way, there's still a good old pagan thing going on today, so it didn't wipe it out.
If you want to find out, I suggest you watch the video. We are going to make an updated video from the hammer to the cross, a chat on Viking conversion.
It wasn't all bad. I mean, there was avenues open for trade, but also, calm things down a bit.
Now, we have a new comment here from Sven.
Hi, Sven.
A.K.A. known as Cheetah.
Sven Cheetah.
And they say, nice kite shield in the background. Will you be doing some sparring videos with it? Yes.
Well, Bragi will. I can't use a kite shield. I keep tripping over the damn things.
No, you're very lucky here, because I'm the one, Muggins here, going to have to dress as a Norman. And as a Viking, no, don't laugh. I really detest having to dress as a Norman. Boo! Hey, Normans. Anyway.
Hey, they do great cheese in Normandy.
Oh yes, well, in that case, they're not too bad.
Nice bit of camembert.
We can't forget the Normans were once Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, they're only 1-2 generations away from it.
Yeah, so I think we'll comment on that. There are, I think, at least 3 or 4 subject ideas in the keyword phrase list on my tablet, which we are going to do around the kite shield and Normans.
Normandy is a beautiful place. And without Normandy, we wouldn't have had D-Day, would we?
Now, we have a long comment here from Martin Brown, the leaver of long comments. And always very fascinating. I really do appreciate the work you put in. And the thing is, the old pagan religions are still here, rewritten to suit today's people. The whole story of one God is what most people believe in. But then they told you stories about the old gods and goddesses. So they never went away. I mean, I'm a so-called Christian, but get me into my Viking gear, I'll be drinking to Thor's health after a few meads, or we'll tell the kids in the thunderstorms it's Thor's hammer, etc. So I still think the old gods have never went away, just been rebranded. Plus, you look at a lot of the Viking jewellery, one side you may have a cross or a hammer, plus on the other side you may have a cross.
Quite correct. I think it's fair to say that what we have today is what's called neo-paganism, because we don't know what happened in the past.
No.
Most, in fact, all the ceremonies are based on the 1930s. I think it was Israel Regard, correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm not sure on that.
Who basically worked out a ceremony, a structure, and it alters from tradition to tradition. Gerald Gardner, he took various bits to form Wicca, which
Gardnerianism.
Yeah, which good for him. he actually sort of broke great ground and said, look, you don't have to be a Christian to be a decent bloke. It's a faith that's still going, but to call it the old times I think is a misnomer, as I'm in Odinic faith, and that the dates from about the 80s. So be aware of that, but don't invalidate what you believe or how you practice it.
Well, of course.
So anyway.
We have a new comment here from Captain Jutland.
Hi, Captain.
And they say, this is on the same video, we are all taught this in Denmark as well, but it's still nice to have it recognised by others. Smiley face. Keep up the good work and cheers from Denmark. And I'll just read you a comment here from Sven, because here, look, they're having a conversation in Danish. And they said, "Head you fly America, Havorden Gardet." It means, I'm from America. Hello, hi from America. How are you? I assume. I don't speak Danish.
Well, hi to our Danish friends and our American friends. We appreciate the time and effort that you put in, because time differences and things like that.
Yes.
And one day I'd love to visit America and Scandinavia and all these wonderful places, and maybe meet the people who...
Well, we will do.
Yeah.
One day we'll have channel meets up, and where we can meet all our fans.
You better hurry up, I'm 64 now.
Oh, you got years left. We'll freeze you when you die and put you into frozen, whatever they call
farm
it.
foods.
No, not farm food. No, moving on from that.
Or Iceland.
We've got a comment here from Sharmana. And I hope I got your name right there. I'll have to read that a bit more. We do hate pronouncing things, don't we, at times. Anyway, thanks for the video, gentlemen. Egil didn't get into Viking re-enacting for money and women, did he?
Well, no, actually, because if I did,
maybe the women.
I actually met she's my ex-girlfriend. I met her via reenactment. I did a school in Ashburn. We were together. We were still friends, which is good. But I met her via reenactment, and I enjoyed the friendship.
I think at some point in one of the vlogs we will both again talk about how we got into reenacting. Although we have talked about it in various vlogs and videos like live stream, a lot of you folk may not have seen those videos. Well, so let me just carry on, because it's only the beginning of the chat. I appreciate you talking on men's mental health. I have suffered with depression since I haven't suffered with depression since I took up martial arts and meditation 15 years ago.
Good.
I also find being creative helps, and thanks to your channel I have been inspired to do some sewing recently. It's very rewarding to have a hobby or interest and do something with your hands. I'm getting into Iron Age Celtic outfit together.
Good. Well, the thing is, I'm really honoured that we've helped you a bit.
Oh yes.
I know a little about depression.
Same here, really.
And yeah, we're here. We both had sort of bouts of it, but I'm glad that we've helped you. I'm glad we've helped you along the way. Again, don't suffer in silence.
No.
You know, your health is most important.
Well, of course so.
And sitting there brooding only makes it worse. So tell somebody.
But I think it also shows by having a few good hobbies like martial arts and meditating, that helps. And let's face it, we live in a very modern world. It's at times scary.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can only speak for me. With my belief system, that's what kept me going. Without that, I shudder to think. But keep in there, you know, like keep in contact.
I mean, for me, having this channel is a great help. From
Yeah.
what I'm going through at the moment with caring for my father, Magnar, who has Alzheimer's, a very crippling disease. I mean, next comment comes from Thomas Dale.
Hi, Tom.
Hello, Tom. And he says, the Skyrim Viking versus Giant was fun. Skyrim Space Program. And that was where I did a video on my gaming channel where I kept on beating a giant, and the giant kept on beating me up into space. And we kept on going back to see if I could kill this giant, which I did not do because the character's too young and I got no good weapons.
Yeah, by the way, Tom, I'm sorry I didn't be more responsive when I met you in the street. You caught me off guard. I was going for a meal with a couple of mates of mine, and all of a sudden Tom appeared. It sort of threw me, so I'm not being nasty.
We have a comment here from Pernelia Gustafsson.
Aye.
And the problem here regarding tattoos is there absolutely no evidence that the Vikings ever had them.
That's true.
Considering the Vikings were very vain, who took great care and value with their appearance, makes no sense. Now, those who have tattoos are always the people who say they didn't have them.
Now,
They did have them.
Yeah. Tattoos.
I'm not finished yet.
Oh, right. Well,
The gods never had them, such as Odin, Thor, Frey, etc. Then somebody will bring up Ibn el-Fadlan, who travelled from Caliphate capital in Baghdad to Volga, about 1,200 miles from eastern Sweden. He mentions the Vikings there being covered in road dye, but not tattoos, as previously thought, because it was a mistranslation. Why would a Viking have tattoos with the usual modern scroll that is nothing more than a signpost? They carved large stones with runes and information as signposts. Now, thralls/slaves, they did have tattoos, as there is some evidence that points in that direction, though they now think that they were for identification purposes. They knew who there was as a slave, and also their recreation. One possibility is that a thrall who earned his freedom, who had tattoos, became a Viking/warrior, then that is another matter. Also, they hint at tattoos from the bones of somebody having a tattoo in this period was a thrall/slave. Never ever one a warrior Viking. The Anglo Saxons and Dukes did not have them. Why would their cousins have them?
How do you know?
Well, we don't know. This is one of those 64 million questions.
This is the...
One more paragraph.
Oh, God.
Believing in... No, this is a very good... These comments are very good. Because they promote thought and thinking. Believing in one thing, evidence is another. No evidence whatsoever Vikings had tattoos. Vikings were the elite. Tats even then were for slaves and for lesser, and usually poor folk who cannot afford a home or dinner, but who will waste time or money on tats just like today. Show me the evidence they did. Nobody can. There is none. Enjoy your videos, by the way, and don't hold a disagreement against me. Takasam Maket.
Show me the evidence that you didn't.
Yeah.
Now, you have fallen into one of the biggest traps that archaeology has. Absence of evidence doesn't prove evidence.
No.
Now, I would tend to believe Ibn Fadlan has them. Now, the reason they had tattoos is to honour their gods. And it's why St. Paul in the Bible says you're not to have tattoos, because it is an affront to the Christians. Now, if that was the case, that they didn't have tattoos, why would they mention it in the Bible? Okay? So, you know, I mean, I appreciate what you're saying, but there's the evidence that says they did. Why on earth would somebody paint themselves like that? I mean, Ibn Fadlan is a very good source. And,
but you do need more than one source to form a logical argument to prove something.
They haven't produced a single piece of evidence to prove they didn't.
Well, of course not. It's one, like I said, it's one of those...
Tattoos date from Urtzi. Urtzi,
yes.
the Neolithic man, had 56 different tattoos.
It's quite amazing, that.
Yeah. So they were carried through the ages. So why should the Vikings...
we had tattooing... I mean, one of the problems with tattooing is that we often think we're modern goggles and we see modern tattooing. Tattooing wasn't the same practice, was it, back in the day? It was done a lot differently. They didn't have modern machines, they have modern ink, they had natural veg dyes. So in the Iron Age, they had the ability to tattoo. So why did it stop? Well, why did it start again?
The thing is, flesh rots.
Yes.
And any evidence of tattooing will disappear. Now, Urtzi was lucky, he was deep frozen. And it wasn't just for decoration. It was found that there were lines on joints which are arthritic.
Yes.
So, okay, maybe you're saying, oh, I've got pain, so I'll mark the place.
Yeah.
Give you something to relieve your pain.
Yes, I remember that programme.
Yep, you nip over the mountain and you say, oh, my arm's hurting again. Go and see the medicine man or woman. They look, say, oh yeah, right, that's where the pain is, and I tend to it that way. It all boils down to one thing. You're either into tattoos or you're not. And that's what it boils down to. And, you know, that's up to the individual.
I think with more study and hopefully more research and more evidence might prove that way, but it is one of those questions which you can neither answer nor not answer.
Again, I mean, just because the Vikings may have had tattoos, let me say they all did.
Oh yes,
the Saxons.
It's just
some well and some well.
This is one of those questions on the line which we don't know. I did watch a very interesting video from Dr. Jackson Crawford where you talked about sort of things and how you just can't answer sort of questions. It's impossible really to answer. But people are still searching for such answers. Officially on the channel, our point of view is we don't know. We don't know. No, you know.
You can take an educated guess.
Yes.
But to say, you usually find in archaeology and history, it's not one or the other. It's usually a mixture of both.
Oh yeah, and that was a cool comment. And we should always appreciate people taking the time to leave such long comments. And it promotes thinking and thought on the channel amongst our viewers and ourselves. So yeah, great. Yeah. Very warm today. Yeah. So we have a comment here from George Leonard.
Hi George.
That, fellas, was an interesting video, thanks. And we have another one, George Leonard. Universal credit is a travesty by man. I hope it changes soon, fellas.
Same here.
And I think we should you know, start using the hashtag let's scrap universal credits.
The main problem I've got with universal credit is it's paid monthly and not weekly or fortnightly, because all your bills, if you're on universal credit you'll know, all your bills come at once and you've got to try and stretch everything for a month. It's the invention of Beelzebub.
Yeah, well, Loki or the devil, one of them.
Well, anyway, I know who it is, but no names, no background.
We'll move on from that. We have a comment from Shah Manar.
Hi Shah.
And they say, how about a live combat video? It would be rather exciting for us viewers. We might see an accidental decapitation or something like that. No, we actually use blunt swords, so that would be very difficult.
Still take your head off.
Yeah, well, it could not kill you, but you know, it is a very dangerous sport. And one of the videos we are going to do in the future is about health and safety of combat.
We've been doing it for years. I mean, was it at least?
But we are going to try that in the future on a colder day.
What would be a good demonstration is if we get melons.
Yeah.
And attack said melons so that people can see.
Yeah, well, that sort of content we'll save for whether much bigger and whether much bigger viewer base.
And melons are jolly nice to eat.
Yeah, you can have all the melons afterwards.
Woof.
You heard that first. Now, we have a comment here from Blake Hadland, a new commenter, a new subscriber.
Hi, Blake.
And this is on the video of the Battle of the Home. A series covering battles during the Dark Ages. I'm afraid it won't be a happy ending with the Normans hopping in at the end.
Yeah, well, we came
Battle of Hastings.
Look at it this way, we came second.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, it's like basically Viking against.
We're going to do a rare treat here. It is a hashtag Ask Egil Anything question.
Oh my God!
And it comes from Thomas Dale.
Hi Tom.
Why do you dislike the Sweeney song?
Because it's an earworm. This gentleman here keeps on at it. I was at Aldi the other day and I got this phrase from an Amy Winehouse song.
Oh yeah.
And it was going through my head all the time I was shopping. It's the song, You Know I Am No Good.
No, that's pretty copyrighted. Let's move on from that. We have a comment here from Liam Fraser.
Hi Liam.
And Liam says, well done. No, very well done. Looking forward to more of those for sure. Also, I'm hoping to have my Etsy shop up very soon. I should be able to send you something your way shortly.
Oh, look forward to that.
I'll be sure to let you know when. Cheers.
Cheers.
So he's going to send us a few products from his Etsy shop and we're going to review them for him. So I don't know what they're going to be or whether, I assume they must be Dark Age related, but if they're not, we'll still review them. If you're kind enough to send it to us, we'll be kind enough to review it.
Absolutely.
So we have a comment here. I have a bone to pick with you two, and this comes from Martin Brown.
Hi Martin.
I have been talking about beads on Viking men.
Yeah.
And a few of us think it's too feminine, as there are really no grave finds to provide proof. Maybe the odd one used as a tulip button or a bag closer. I had to say, it's been bugging me for months. And I'm not starting a fight. Your axes are bigger than mine. It's just what I've seen in photos and read. Some reports that beads are not really found in male graves.
Well, there is a necklace found in Jorvik. I think it's a female one. But if you come to Derby, there was, it's only 3 beads, admittedly, were found on the necklace. But you have to account for modern vanity. And as you can see, I'm here with that, and Bragi's here with
I've not
this.
got him on today.
Normally he looks...
I call it the Club of Egil Thorsson.
Yeah. Normally he looks like Liberace's shirt front. It's just that I think it's appealing.
I think to a degree it's probably a modern re-enactorism.
Could be. I mean...
But also we're on camera, so we want to look good.
Well, yeah, I mean there is that element, but there are in, I think, Sweden, necklaces. Well, now, whether they're female or male, I don't know. I don't know whether the distinction was so refined.
I probably don't help. I've been a tart in my time, as in kit.
Still is.
I get a kit tart. It comes from the days from the Civil War, really, because I was in sort of a fine regiment and we stood out so finely because, well, we was posh and rich. We had the best kit, you know. We stood out. So I've always got called a tart kit back in the 90s and back in the 2000s. Some things don't change. Now, moving on from that, we have a funny story from Martin here, and I will read it to you. I read this to Bernard, it made him laugh. So another funny Moscow story. 2 East Belfast Glentorian supporters were a wee bit drunk trying to find Red Square, stopping all these people and asking where it was, just to have a Russian army officer come up with his AKM rifle. What's that, Egil?
AK-47.
There you go. And tell us to turn around as we are standing in the middle of it. Or a few dozen of us being asked to leave the Kremlin because someone was eating a loaf of bread and cheese. I was not very popular afterwards. Yet again, some fool, not me, started singing "Where the beep is your KGB" outside the football ground and spent the rest of the match in the back of an army truck.
Lucky he spent that, was it?
Yes. Yeah. But they let him out after the game. All that money spent to miss the match. Oops, 1988, Spartak Moscow.
I love the irony that the Russians, they're subtle. Yeah, like you said, spent all that money and all you see is inside of a police van.
Well, lucky he didn't get beat up in the back of the van.
Lucky he didn't end up in Siberia.
Now, we have a comment here on your video of Fossetti and the wise men of the Frisians. And he says, never heard of him for once. And that's from Martin Brown.
Never heard of Fossetti?
No, there's Fossetti, God of Justice. He is one of those lesser gods. And I think one of the reasons why people have not heard of him is because a lot of that information's missing. Yeah. But he was the son of Balder and Nanna and lived in a hall made of silver and gold called Glitnir.
And he is the guy who is deciding on guilt. Well, he's a god of justice. And very effective he is too.
Now, we have a video here on your runic check on the rune tier.
Go on then.
This is from Blake Hadland.
Hi, Blake.
Well, it might be my imagination, but it's interesting to note the Firth Arc is particularly similar to other runic systems of the Finn-Ugric and Turkic peoples, especially with the symbols for Tyr sounding like TZ sound in old Hungarian script, and the Ochron script, it meaning arrow stroke strength flipped upside down.
You're quite right there. I can't roll my sleeves up, but I've got Gothic runes on here as well. And there is a theory that Odin did exist and that he was possibly Turkish or somebody like that. So it may well, as you say, be a link there. I don't know. If you know, please let us know.
There's enough dimensions in this world that one of them's bound to have Odin living in it.
There are 56 at least different Firth Arcs around, so...
Oh right, so we could have a 56 series. Now moving on from that, we have a very cool comment here from Mug for you.
Hi Mug.
And this is on the Russian fairy tale, The Turnip. It's a very beautiful story. Big red heart. Simply awesome. Anyone can fall in love with this channel, so everyone please do subscribe and like this channel like I did. thank you so much for the upload and sharing this video with us.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah.
It's a very nice comment. Yeah.
Comments make my day.
Yeah.
And we have a comment in from Pernilla Gustafsson.
Hi, Pernilla.
I enjoyed the turnip folktale. These little plays are most entertaining. Well done, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, not plays. This is your literal, you know, it's your written historical.
I get where you're coming from.
You know,
they are historical, but
Yeah.
also
But it's your oral tradition.
Yeah.
It's your oral written history. You know, it's not all about swords and axes, is it?
No.
So yeah, thank you very much. And from Carmen Graves, can you talk about your Viking tattoos, please? Keep it up, men. Great videos.
In fact, we have.
We have done.
We're going to have a expose.
Well, one day we'll have Egil
While the weather's like this, I think it's probably a good idea.
do that.
Can I just send a message to Tanji?
Yes.
Tanji, thank you very much for your video.
Oh,
It
yes.
was outstanding. You're looking devastating as usual.
Oh yes.
Keep up the good work, and who knows?
So when it's nice and cool, we'll go outside. We'll film an introduction to that video, and then I'll edit the two together, and then we'll have that as our first official collab on the channel when we get to 800 subs, I think. And I said to Thomas, if she lets Tanji know, we could record a folktale for her, and if she sends me an introduction, I'll edit it and send her the video, and she can do the same on her channel.
Yeah. Maybe
You know?
we'll have a live stream or something.
Yes,
I
well,
don't know.
if I ever figure out how to live stream more than us two, then we could do that as well.
Anyway, thanks.
So this is on the Three Billy Goats Gruff Norwegian Fairy Tale, and this is a comment from Blake Hadland.
Hi, Blake.
I've also heard a similar tale, but with a heron and three fishes instead over in Asia Minor.
Stories get changed. I mean, we've done one today that's very similar to the Three Little Pigs, an Italian version. So, yeah, watch this space.
So we have a comment here from a lovely Tanji,
Hi, Tanji.
and this is on the Three Billy Goats Gruff Tale. I think it's one of yours. Hashtag Fairy Tale Tuesday. That's a new thing we can do on a Tuesday, as there's some people called Fairy Tale Tuesday. They run a magazine. This was glorious. I've always loved the Billy Goats Gruff story. Thank you, dear Egil.
Thank you.
Praise, Purple Heart,
Oh, thanks, babe.
and three other things that look like a shopping basket.
Can't see a thing.
No.
but thanks.
We're going to end this video now on this last comment. And the last comment goes to Sean Manar.
Hi, Sean.
Hello, gentlemen.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno, patati fritti.
Guten
Said
Tag.
chips. New subscriber here.
Hi.
Personally, I am more interested in the Iron Age cultic culture, but really enjoy your channel content as I see many similarities between Vikings people and the early British, early British. Also, thank you for considering our comfort
Yeah.
and suggesting we sit down with a nice warm drink. I'd only just finished my morning cuppa before watching.
I don't know. Is a person from this country?
I think they're from America,
All right.
but I'm only assuming that.
If you're
I'm
from
not sure.
England, I say you want to go. If you come to England, go and see Stonehenge.
Oh yes.
And also Derbyshire, we have the Nine Ladies and Doltor. Doltor is extremely small, but
Is it in a wood?
yeah,
Oh, I saw a picture of it in the Telegraph the other day.
took me and Helen 3 goes. There's also some very beautiful countryside, so if you come over, you're more than welcome, and you'll see the beautiful county of Derbyshire. And I'm not born in Derbyshire, I was born in Kent.
Oh, we don't hold you for it.
But
Suffered it.
no, as I was saying, Helen and I tried to find it. Took us 3 goes. I ended up falling over in the wood onto a moss bed.
Was that on the same day?
Yeah.
Oh wow, you didn't go back 3 times then?
No.
Yes, we often forget about all these Neolithic stone circles we have in the UK, and we do have a lot of them.
Especially in Derbyshire.
Yeah.
But Stonehenge I found amazing place. If you do come to Stonehenge, walk it from the car park. Don't get the food, it costs you a fortune. But walk down, it's a 4-mile walk, which isn't as far as it sounds. And you see all the burial mounds, some with prayer tags. But Yeah, I enjoyed myself immensely.
And have they built that road yet, underpass? Are they doing that?
Well, you know the road that used to go by it?
Yes.
That's now part of the site. And there's buses that go up and down there.
So how does the traffic get by? They're doing the bypass?
Yeah. And also, the visitor centre does look a bit like Marks and Spencer's. But when you go up, you can see round houses being built, various stages.
Do you want to describe what Marks and Spencer's is to those people that don't know?
Um,
A very posh shop.
Well, it's what I call the Valhalla for the bourgeoisie.
Oh, we've got a Waitrose up the road now.
Oh, well.
How the other half live?
Yeah, well, I know a certain person who goes there, Ellen.
Oh.
I've actually got 2 tins of Waitrose sardines in my pantry.
Oh, what a life.
I just keep them there to be flash.
Indeed. Well, I think that's kind of rounded up the video, and we do hope you enjoy this comments reading video, and we had to tap the last bit on because the camera memory didn't last long enough. Yeah, but we're going to film for about half an hour on this camera. It's a bit of a problem, but if we wanted longer videos, we'll have to think about something else.
Best slip out of this and into the 21st
Yes,
century.
you'll be going back to your modern world. So, if you are new to the channel, what should I do, Egil? Whilst we drink this nice cold lemonade.
Well, I've got a nice mouthful of ice cube. Tap the old subscription bell in just above Bragi's head.
Is it?
Also, leave us a comment on hashtag.
Viking vlog. No, reading comments.
Okay.
Hashtag reading comments.
We will get back to you. It's been a long day, sorry. It's very hot here today.
Indeed, it is too hot.
We will get back to you. It does take us a bit of time because there are so many people, and we urge you, keep sending comments and information. Because
Well, you don't need comments, we can't read them.
well, I can't. I need my glasses.
Yes,
but
well,
there you go.
I was going to let you read them today, I forgot. With your glasses on. Next time, Egil will use a tablet for the first time.
A tablet, I take those every day.
No, yes, tablet is a computer, Egil.
Oh, I think we better leave it there then.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.